This here's from Radar from January 17th, 2024. It's called Marilyn Manson Fighting Ex Evan Rachel Wood's Demand for $387,000 after she shut down most of his defamation lawsuit. Okay, so here's the thing. I guess Evan Rachel Wood spent almost $400,000 for a lawyer. First of all, why do you need to spend that much on a lawyer? Second of all, how is this important to anybody? Think of how that money could have been used. Helping homeless, education, whatever she virtue signals about, she could use that money for instead of some lawyer. If she's so innocent, she could just go to court with a reasonable lawyer and prove her innocence. It shouldn't be so hard. So we've got society here where people are struggling to make ends meet with like 50K a year or something. And here you've got Evan Rachel Wood spending 400 grand on this bullshit. Let's see what we got. Marilyn Manson asked a court to shut down his ex-girlfriend, Evan Rachel Wood's demand for a six-figure sum to cover her legal fees after she shut down the majority of claims in his defamation lawsuit. According to court documents obtained by Radar Online, the shock rocker scoffed at Wood's request for nearly 400 grand, which is a lot of money. At first we reported the Westworld actress said Manson should reimburse her for the $346,000 in legal fees, $9,000 in court costs, and $22,000 in other fees, and $10K she expected to spend in the future. Wood's motion for attorney fees was filed after a Los Angeles Superior Court judge dismissed most of Manson's lawsuit against Wood and her ex, Ilma Gore. That's what you get for being in California, just saying. I don't live there. I only know what I hear on X and things like that, but seems like it's a bit disjointed these days, but I digress. In his lawsuit, Manson claimed Wood and Gore conspired to ruin him personally and professionally. Manson dated Wood from 2007 to 2010. The rock star accused Wood of creating false allegations that he abused her during their relationship. He claimed Wood and Gore attempted to convince his other ex-girlfriends that he had abused them and asked the women to speak up, which we now know is pretty much a fact, at least for some of them. In his lawsuit, Manson claimed that the duo created a fake FBI letter to send around to the media and his exes in an attempt to make it look like the feds were investigating him, which would be smart. I mean, if you want these people to get on your side, if you've got this fake letter, it makes it feel legit. It makes it feel safe. It makes it feel like something's really going on. The alleged letter read, "To whom it may concern, please be advised that Miss Evan Rachel Wood is a key witness in connection to a criminal investigation in Los Angeles, California, involving an international and well-known public figure. The safety of Miss Wood, her family, other victims, and of their families are the utmost concerns during this time." So who the fuck in a court is so stupid to think that Marilyn Manson might be a danger because he's done all this stuff that was a danger to people? I'm not talking about concerts, things on stage, spitting on a camera person who signed a waiver, things like that. What happens on stage is an act. If you're not an adult, I guess maybe you don't understand that. But he never actually, off stage, outside of his act, did anything like hurting someone, attacking someone, threatening someone with violence seriously. He was just himself. So how can anyone take this seriously? It's beyond me, unless it's political and you're just on her side because she's a woman and that's your angle and you're hoping things are easy for you someday in the future. Maybe you could do something like she's doing or like Amber did. If you're reasonable, you got to say, let's see the evidence. This sounds weird. If you believe it blindly, well, I'm glad I'm nowhere near you. And I'm not, trust me. Manson denied he abused Wood. He said all his relationships were consensual. He never abused, assaulted, or R-worded, or threatened, or trafficked anyone. The trafficking, another bullshit thing. Trafficking to me, when you use that word, means against someone's will. If it's not, they've got consent. So I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Game of Thrones actress claimed trafficking against Manson, but she came to the States to work and get the job. She was along with it. Trafficking's when you, like, take someone and they don't want to be there. They're trying to get back to their home country or something, you know? I don't know. Not something you can just blame him for, even if he missed some kind of legal paper or something. He claimed Wood's accusations caused him severe issues, which I'm sure they did. Manson told the court, I suffered severe emotional distress as a result of Wood and Gore's conduct, as alleged in my complaint. I am not an R word or abuser, but many people now think I am, which is true, which Camille said about Johnny. You know, looks like about 90% plus. No, Johnny's good to go. He's a good guy, but there's always going to be that small minority who's like, he did it. This is horrible. Oh, Johnny Depp. And he's got to live with that. Same thing. In this new motion, Manson objected to the $387,000 requested by Wood. He argued the billing submitted by Wood was vague and further obscured by redactions to entries for which she seeks compensation in full. Worse yet, the time records reflect excessive and inefficient billing by partner-level attorneys charging up to $900 per hour and rampant duplication of nearly all tasks from legal research to court appearances, motion reads. Manson said, at the very least, reduce the cost. I don't see why he should pay anything. When you get a lawyer, don't you pay for your lawyer, or aren't you afforded one by right if you can't afford one? Seems like Evan Rachel Wood, who is completely innocent and did nothing wrong, needs a god-tier lawyer. Okay. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Gotta say, I'm no expert, far from it, but I think because this is California, they're heavily leaning towards Evan Rachel Wood's side and making very biased decisions. But again, that's my silly opinion. If you're not subscribed here, consider it. If you don't, I'll be sad, but I'll get over it. See you next time. This here's from Radar from January 17th, 2020, 2020, 2020, whatever. What fucking year is it? This here's from Radar from 2024. When in 2024? January, February, March, April, 1st, 2nd, 3rd? Take 2.